there everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have some things from Yves Saint Laurent today to show you. They came out with a new high cover radiant concealer. So the Touche Eclat radiant concealer that we're all familiar with is in sort of this pump tube here where you push it up from the bottom, and then it has that sort of brush at the end. This is a high cover version of that. And since that Touche Eclat concealer has never really worked for me, it's never really covered my dark circles. I do like the radiance on it, but it's never covered for me. I thought I would try this high cover version of it. I do like the way it sort of glows and gives you radiance and illumination under your eyes, but I feel like the Touche Eclat, the regular one, you need to put that on top of a more high cover concealer and just put it maybe right in here and get a little brightening in your inner corner, get a little brightening. It is not a covering concealer. So I thought I'd try the high cover version. And then I thought I would also try the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow foundation. This is in a squeeze tube. And I got the lightest color, of course. The lightest color they have is B10. Now in the tube it looks quite dark, and when I put it on, it was going on kind of dark and I was a little nervous. But it kind of toned down into a decent color match for me, I think. A little bit of a difference here, but I think it's a decent color match. Let me swatch both of these on the back of my hand, and then I'll show you how they went on. Here is the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow. It says it's a fresh, dewy makeup, natural, medium coverage, long-lasting hydration, oil-free. It does have an SPF 23 in it. Yves Saint Laurent, all of their products have this natural botanical scent to them. They say it's the botanicals in the product. It's not really an added fragrance. So sometimes that will bother me. In the past, it has bothered me before. Here is your B10, but it's not really making me sneeze right now. It's not making me sneeze right now. So you can see it looks kind of very deep for me there. But then when I started getting it in place and it sort of unoxidized or oxidized, I don't know which. If it gets lighter on your skin, is that still oxidation? It turned out to be a decent color. Now, as I'm putting it on the back of my hand, little water droplets are piling up on top of it. How odd is that? So there it is blended out. You can barely see it. So this is a very light to medium coverage foundation. So there are days when you want the full-on glam, and then there are days when you just want to throw a little bit of something on and not look heavy and not look covered up and not look done up. I call them sort of the parent-teacher conference days, when you just want a little something but you don't want to look full makeup and you don't want to spend a lot of time. It is not matte. It is very dewy. So I have a whole, over here I have my double-deckered tier of foundations, and in one section I have some that are more of the everyday sort of light wear like this, and then I have the other ones that are for when I really want to cover all of my stuff. So let's take a look at this concealer. One of those pump up from the bottom ones. I had to use quite a bit today to go on under my dark circles. So I am not that sure that this is a high coverage concealer at all. Let me put some on for you. There it is right there. So the color I have is 0.5. So if you can see, you can kind of see through what I put on there. It is not gonna be like Shape Tape. It is not gonna be like Jouer. It is not gonna be a covering concealer like that. Yes, it probably has more coverage to it than the Touche Eclat, the regular previous one, but it is very not high coverage. They're calling it high coverage is not high coverage to me. I guess there are people out there that do not have dark circles and it's high coverage to them. I am looking extremely hydrated under my eyes. However, I am not covered. My discolorations are still there. I put on a couple of layers of this. I tried to build it, and it is just not a high cover concealer for me. That's okay. What I'm thinking I might use this for is I put on like Shape Tape or something that can be very drying but very covering, and then put this on as a brightener, just sort of inner section right here and get some kind of illumination, glow, and brightening out of it. However, I do like the hydration on it. The hydration on it is supreme. There is no dryness. There's no puckering. There's no heaviness under here. That is nice. So it's kind of a trade-off. Do you want hydrated under eyes where you can see your blue discoloration, or do you want heavy, dry under eyes where you don't see any of your discoloration? I don't know. A lot of times I debate about that. So here's how everything went on today. I'm going to first apply the all-in-one glow to my face. I've already got my primer on. Lately I've been using the Chanel Sublimage as my primer because it's just fantastic as a primer for me. It really grabs makeup. So I don't know, this may be too dark. I'm scared. It looks very dark. I'm going to go ahead and just squirt this directly on my blender sponge. Nice stiff product there. I'm going to start. It's dark. This is the lightest shade they make. It has that expensive smell. Okay, I'm going to definitely need a couple more pumps of this, which is unfortunate because it is an expensive foundation. It's very shiny. Can you see the shininess of it? It's very hydrating feeling, I'll give you that. Another pump or two. You know, this pump is not working. Maybe if okay, I had to squeeze the tube to get it to come out. I'm kind of building it right through here because I have a lot of discoloration on my nose, and then of course I have my melasma and my freckles over here. I mean, I'm not really expecting this to be a full coverage looking situation here. It's really lightweight coverage. Okay, we shall see how that powders down, but first let's try the new concealer. High Coverage Radiant Concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a fresh pump. I was playing with it a couple of days ago, but I want fresh product. So hopefully I can use this by itself. I think probably I need more coverage than this is gonna provide, but I do want you guys to see what kind of coverage it does provide, so therefore I am not going to put anything else on. Okay, I'm really having to pump to get anything out. I don't feel like, if you look at that, that's not going to be anything like what I need. I guess what I could do is pump and get some of it on my hand and then sort of swipe it on. Okay, now there's some coming out. Okay, they just have to assume that most people do not have outrageous dark spots like I do. There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Not much gets dispensed here, but I do believe this may not be a full coverage concealer for me, but I believe it's gonna give me some brightening and radiance under the eye. I think I'm going to pat this into place with a brush, because if I use a dampened blender, I'm afraid it's gonna just suck some of this product right off. Okay, it is definitely not a high coverage concealer because you can see all of my blueness through it, but the radiance is going to be there. Now I would rather have some more coverage than radiance. Now the thing is too though, this may look good on top of something else. Like say for instance I put down Shape Tape or my Jouer concealer or whatever, and then just put this on top to give some radiance. So I have my coverage first, and then I put this on, and it gives a glow and a radiance. I'm going to use my Becca under eye powder. I like to start with the heaviest part, and then go back in with whatever's left on the brush. Very light and lightening, brightening, a very natural look. I wouldn't say it's high cover though. This foundation, I think I'm going to use my Hourglass Translucent Veil, just because I want something lightweight, but I don't want anything that gives a whole lot more illumination, because I feel like I'm illuminated enough with how shiny this is. Okay, this is a pretty light to medium foundation, light to medium coverage foundation. I feel luminous, I feel natural. You can see all of my freckles and all of my discolorations, but it's blurred and just lightened. The glow is definitely there. You can see the glow of this foundation. It's very natural looking. So as you can see, it is not a heavy-duty concealer. It is not really what I would call high coverage, but it is pretty in its own way. It has its own benefits. The Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow, also, I do love the hydration on this. I feel very hydrated. I feel very plumped. I feel very natural on my skin finish. So that's my YSL for today, and I thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.